Okay, hi, I'm Lama from Gnosis, and I'll be talking about prediction markets, which is the core product that Gnosis is building. So essentially, prediction markets, or the idea behind them, is to make the potential outcomes of a future event tradable for the purpose of eliciting, aggregating the general, collective wisdom of the crowd, the collective opinion of the crowd about a certain topic in the future. So traders with different beliefs can trade on different outcomes of a potential future, of a future event, and the market prices that these trades achieve represent the collective wisdom of the crowd, or the crowd source wisdom, or the general belief of what the crowd thinks the future outcome is going to be. And this is this is actually a great tool for forecasting future information and for understanding the information, how future events are going to evolve. And actually, from a research perspective, it shows that prediction markets are often accurate if traders who trade on different outcomes have access to diversity of information and are making their decisions independently and in a form of decentralization. And this is actually what Gnosis is trying to build, a platform where these elements can be provided to provide as much transparency as possible for prediction markets to be accurate and credible. So how do prediction markets on a high level work is that someone who's interested in a certain topic or understanding what the outcomes of a certain topic in the future will pose a question. For example, what will the median gas price on April 1st, 2018 be? Read the question, cover all the potential outcomes for this question. The potential outcomes can either be binary, yes or no, or a list of a list of different outcomes that one of them will be true in the future, or a scale in mostly in questions about prices. It'll be a scale, and then with an upper and lower bound, and the resolved value will fall somewhere on the scale. The creator of the market needs to also fund the market with liquidity, and then open the market to the public so they can trade on the different outcomes. And then there will be an oracle which captures real-world information that will resolve and set the outcome of the market, out of which the outcome will be known to everyone. Traders who traded on the correct outcome will turn a profit. Those who corrected the wrong outcome will turn a loss, obviously. The mechanism, or the market mechanism, that prediction markets on Gnosis follows is an automated market maker. So any person who creates a market needs to fund this market to provide liquidity, and this liquidity will be used to determine the market prices of different outcomes, depending on the collective trades of everyone who traded on this market thus far. And this automated market maker always also provides liquidity, so it's a great thing for anyone who wants to trade at any time. It always offers the chance for trading. It also sets fair prices and determines the payouts at the end when the market gets resolved. So it's what determines the payout distribution, and it's also a fair way of determining prices because it hedges against the huge financial losses due to the fair pricing mechanism. So a person who funds the market or any market can be funded with any ERC20 token, and the same token needs to be used by traders who trade on this market. And for each collateral token or any ERC20 token that the market is funded with and the traders trade with, they get a complete set of outcome tokens which represent the different outcomes or potential outcomes of the market. After which the user or the trader can choose which outcome they want to keep, and then the remaining ones will automatically be sold back to the automated market maker. So it's a very, from a user perspective, it's a very sleek and quick process of just trading directly of the collateral token of the market and getting back outcome tokens that represent what a trader believes is the correct outcome. The collective or all the outcomes in a market need to add up, or the prices of the outcomes in a market need to add up to 1. So at any point of the market, the different outcomes always, the price of different outcomes always falls between 0 and 1. And then at the end, when the market gets resolved, if it's a categorical market, or like we have a list of different outcomes, the winning outcome price will be 1, and the losing outcome will be 0. And this is how the payout distribution is calculated for markets. This is how, like in general, this is how the market mechanism of prediction markets work. If you have any questions about them, you can feel free to come ask me later about how like the mechanism works in more detail. So prediction markets are like a great tool for so many business cases. They're like endless. One of the most important use cases are information discovery, or using prediction markets so you can forecast information about the future that will be incredibly significant for organizations, companies, stakeholders, in a lot of topics. So for example, in construction projects, if we incentivize people who are experts, who have insights into, for example, a construction project, to come forward and talk about their beliefs on or expectations or on when a project will be finished, it can save up to millions in research, in cost planning, logistics planning, infrastructure planning. And this information, as I said, can be really accurate if the experts are well incentivized, and you can actually use this information to sell it to stakeholders or people who are interested in this information. Another really great use case for prediction markets is governance or decision making in a very decentralized, democratic way, by making prediction markets about the performance of a certain entity or person in a certain position. And actually, this type of use case uses another format of prediction markets, which is conditional markets, where you can predict for example, the performance of a company, or the performance of the revenue of a company, based on if, for example, we keep the CEO or we fire the CEO. So there's a condition on which the decision making will be done, and then conditionally there's a scale of performance that's used to measure the performance, or like a fair way to make the decision on in the organization. And it can be used not just for like governance, decision making in different topics. Another also use case can be insurance and hedging, by predicting the probability of a certain future event, like a natural disaster or an accident. We can actually hedge against the losses that can incur out of the side effects that this disaster might incur. These are some of the use cases that prediction markets have, and there are like many other endless use cases. And Gnosis as a platform would like to see all the different use cases leveraged on its platform. So we provide this infrastructure, this market mechanism that I just explained, all the smart contracts, and we'd love to see the other teams, developers, companies building endless awesome use cases on top of Gnosis with these use cases or any others. One way for us to demonstrate the different use cases of prediction markets, how they work, how traders can leverage them, how they can use them, was Olympia, which is a test run that we launched in December. It's a prediction market tournament that runs on Rinkiby, so it's on a test network. It was great for to get users to interact with prediction markets, because there is no financial entry of barrier and no financial losses incurred. Users can basically register, connect a wallet, they get play money tokens, and then they get access to a wide range of prediction markets on different topics that they can trade on to get a sense of how prediction markets work, how the mechanism works, different use cases. We try to offer markets that cover different opportunities and use cases of prediction markets. And actually then users can get rewarded at the end with GNO tokens for their correct predictions. So basically the interface that we had was very similar to the general prediction market platform that Gnosis offers, with the exception that it's on a test network, and it uses play money tokens. And actually it has additional gamified features for users to interact with the platform. So you have like a list of markets you can interact with, and there is a scoreboard where users who performed well in the prediction markets can get GNO reward payouts. We launched this test run of Olympia in December 2017. It was a first release of Olympia and all prediction markets in general, and it was a really nice test run. We got more than 8,000 transactions in the 2 weeks that the tournament ran in, with more than 700 users. And we actually got a lot of good engagement, so we decided to make this a recurring event. So we will, starting from April, we'll start running monthly Olympias, monthly tournaments or competitions where users can actually interact with prediction markets and test them all the time. And it's a good opportunity also for users to win GNO tokens at the end. There will be also a package provided for any company or team, developers who want to roll out like tournaments and try to experiment with their own Olympias and different use cases. They can also roll out their own Olympias. On another note, we also, for the entire prediction market platform, we'll have the SDK package for the full Gnosis prediction markets available and live next week. And we'll actually launch it through a competition that we call Gnosis X, where different teams, developers, companies can apply with different ideas about or different projects and use cases of prediction markets to a panel in Gnosis that will evaluate the projects and will fund the winning projects at the end. If you'd like to know more about it, we have our team here, the awesome team of Gnosis, and they also have a booth with more information about Gnosis X and how you can leverage Gnosis X to build awesome projects on prediction markets. Yeah, this is basically it. And yeah, thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I was wondering, do you have a standard for oracles?
We're essentially ourselves, we're not an oracle provider. So you can, for others who build on top of Gnosis, they can connect any oracle they want, basically.
And for events where there is no data point, is there like a community-based oracle or something like that?
You said with no date point?
No, with no data. Mm-hmm. Like there's no API oracle available, for example, when you don't know with the construction of the Berlin airport, mm-hmm. there's no website which says, okay, it's done or it's not done.
Yeah, basically when a person creates a market, they need to define a source that's credible that the oracle will be resolved from. Okay. Because users who trade on a market need to know that the provider of the resolution is going to be credible.
So it could also be a person? It could be a person. Okay, thank you.
You probably get this question a lot, but can you quickly explain the difference between Augur and Gnosis?
So Augur uses an order book style for exchange. So where the trading of different outcomes is based on like supply and demand. So if you want to buy an outcome on an event, someone else needs to be selling the same outcome and at a price that you would like to buy. Gnosis uses an automated market maker, as I explained the mechanism, where this market maker always sets the price for everyone, all traders, to purchase trade at the same price, and it shifts according to the different trades.
How do you govern the trades that are made when, for example, there's there's someone who makes a certain prediction market based on the price of some financial coin or financial distribution, and they can put in more money that they will win on the trade than the price of that financial currency or institution will be. So is there a way to govern what trades are made based on persons who can make money laundering or money making schemes?
No, basically it's a free access for everyone to trade, and if you believe in like that prediction markets and the mechanism of prediction markets work, which is like it has a free access for everyone and anyone to trade, it eventually like achieves fair prices and fair predictions for everyone, because the power of the crowd will always be bigger than that one person who's trying to manipulate the market.
So every person, their stake is based on just a single person and not on the amount of money that is put in, for example, or the amount of tokens.
You mean, are you asking if the amount of tokens, amount of money that you cast in the prediction market affects the market prices? Yes, it does. Yes.
So in that case, couldn't it be that a certain person who puts in a lot of money can wage their trade-off when he also manipulates the outcome of the event?
It's possible if this person like would overcome all the market, but then as far as the market is open for the crowd, for anyone in the world, there will always be another person who's incentivized to correct the market and predict fairly with a fair amount of money too.
Okay.
So yeah, as Lama mentioned, there are different types or different use cases for prediction markets. If you know that there's one person that can influence the result and can really benefit from this, then the prediction market essentially is an incentive market. Yeah, you can set an incentive for someone to do it. If it's not, if there's no the intention to incentivize them, then you should probably not create a prediction market on it, because then obviously this person can just manipulate it.
So I guess one thing, how you can prevent that is, registering your traders or your predictors. Are you doing any KYC or logging of trades?
Currently not.
Last question. Well, one of your goals was to cover all the possibilities, yes? And if we look at the possibilities of outcomes, there are many outcomes. And it is really difficult to make for an event when there are a lot of black swans and so on and so on. If you have binary markets. Have you ever thought about making non-binary markets, if it's possible?
So basically, we have a limitation of having up to 5 outcomes. So if the potential outcomes of an event are more than 5, we recommend that having like 4 of them, the 4 main ones, and the 5th one to be other, to cover all different outcomes. But essentially, yes, like all the potential outcomes need to be covered. Otherwise, it's not a fair prediction market.
Thanks.
As a legal, I would like to ask you, how do you avoid to fall into the betting regulation, which is actually quite strict around here?
Not sure.
How do you avoid to how do you avoid the betting regulation, like the different gambling regulation? Sorry.
Is the question about regulations?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, how do you avoid, because this kind of service could be considered as a kind of gambling form into blockchain?
Yeah, we are not a gambling platform, and so basically, it's the whole incentive of prediction markets is information discovery, which doesn't fall under gambling and under a game of luck. It's more of a game of it's a skill. So you need to have skills to to be incentivized to participate in prediction markets, and we are regulated under a DLT framework in Gibraltar that for that purpose, but for not for gambling. Now, for others who want to build on top of Gnosis, the obligation to be regulated for their specific use case falls upon them, not on us.
As you said before, and as it is with prediction markets, there is a crowd needed for that. So how are you taking care that there is a crowd actually, there's not like 5 people trading between each other, and that the prediction makes sense? Because then you need, it's kind of the hand and neck problem, that you need people to make the prediction market, and then you need people to bet on that.
Yeah, this is a matter of like reachability and like reach out. We have like it's a free access for everyone to trade on the markets, and for everyone who's like as a platform provider, we want others who build applications for prediction markets on top of Gnosis to target their own audiences.
I know you want that, but are you actively inviting people to do that? Because wanting it is one thing, and building a platform for that. BNB also wanted people to host other people, but they started doing certain things. So I'm asking whether, I don't know, like 100 people that are going to launch, or companies that are going to launch prediction markets, or like what's the plan?
Yeah, we're mostly focusing on being like a B2B platform, so we want others to build applications and take care of this part.
Are you able to go into the specifics of like what algorithm you're using for the automated market maker, and what are the properties for the market creator? Like, I know a few of them have like bounded losses, but presumably there's no profit for the market creator.
Usually, the market creator doesn't get like profit out of this. The funding that's casted in the market maker always gets lost, basically, because it's offered to provide liquidity for the market. A market creator can levy a fee on the market, though, for the transactions that are made, and this is how a market creator can choose to profit from the market.
Oh, sorry, just really quickly, and like those fees you wouldn't see as like distorting the prediction itself? Like, wouldn't that introduce like a small amount of noise?
I didn't hear you well, I'm sorry.
Sorry, so wouldn't like a fee on like in each individual trade, like, it doesn't have 2 major disadvantages? Doesn't it encourage, number one, parasitic markets, because then there's no necessary reason to trade like on that market itself, which like defeats the purpose of the prediction market, because then the pricing information isn't useful. And then number 2, wouldn't that actually introduce like a little bit of noise to the actual number, that even like assuming that the parasitic market isn't a problem, wouldn't that introduce like a certain amount of noise to the actual prediction itself?
No, actually not, because the person who creates the market is funding the market, so they're actually investing in this market a big amount, and providing this opportunity of the platform for others to for incentivizing others to make predictions. The incentive for others to get financially incentivized through making predictions to be bigger than whatever fee the creator of the market is levying on a market, and it's like their rightful right also to get this fee, since they're offering this market.
So what prevents multiple contracts from being listed? So if 2 events have the same contract? So that's my first question. And the second question is, what's the Oracle process like? I don't know if I missed that initially.
Sorry, I'm just answering this because I wrote the smart contracts. No, so basically, there's nothing preventing others to copy the smart contracts and try to create the same. But obviously, the goal that we have is to create a global liquidity pool. So there should be only one market, and we have to make sure that, or basically those that are creating markets on top of us, they have to make sure that there's visibility for their markets and that there's a incentive for everyone to participate in their market. There's no guarantee, obviously, and everyone can do this, but the goal is, if you want to have the best predictions, then of course we would like to have a global liquidity pool. Also coming back to the market maker question, so the automated market maker is based on the constraints that Ethereum currently has, like on-chain order books, they don't really work at all. They are off-chain order books, but they suffer from front running, and nothing is really scalable. So we decided to go for an approach where we can show that prediction markets actually work, and automated market makers are a great tool for information discovery. It's right that there's one person, or it can be crowd-funded, and what they're actually paying for is the information that they would like to receive, right? So they're interested in a specific piece of information, so they have to get this funding for the automated market maker to set an incentive for everyone who has information to trade on this market if they have a better estimate than what the market currently predicts. That doesn't mean that we don't want to offer other market mechanisms. We're also working on a decentralized exchange. And of course, we would like to leverage this exchange also for the trading of the outcome tokens that are created on our prediction market. But for now, we start with this automated market maker, which is a great tool to just show that prediction markets actually work. Yeah.
I was just interested, what's the role of the Gnosis token in the system? Like, what's the utility of it?
I'm having difficulty hearing the questions, actually.
What's the role of the Gnosis platform token in the system? What's the utility of the token?
So we also, as a platform provider, we have a platform fee for for trading on markets. The fee is levied when the trader of the markets creates a set of outcome tokens using collateral token according to the mechanism I explained. And the fee starts with 0.5% of the amount that traders are trading. This fee can be levied in the collateral token of the market, or it can be paid in OWL tokens, which are the utility tokens that can be created through locking down GNO tokens.
So nobody is forcing people to create market with your token, right?
No, no.
So, yeah, and what would be a reason to use token to create the market?
What are
the reason to create the markets using your tokens?
Any user can use any basically ERC.
So is there some unique utility to our platform tokens?
The only, let's say, maybe advantage would be that if the more fees are paid with GNO tokens, the less the fee becomes. So there's a fee reduction mechanism in place, and the fees can only be reduced when paid this way. But apart from that, we open the door for all market creators to use any ERC20 token to create markets.
Okay, thank you.